Okay, hi everyone and welcome. I am Edith and I'll be your host for today's discussion on bridging the gap, exploring the similarities between customer success and support. I'm really excited to have you all here. Today's session is all about understanding how these two areas, customer success and customer support, work together to drive business and success. So I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen quickly so we can just go over the agenda for today. And let me know if you can see my screen. Perfect. Awesome. So if you're new to HubSpot, we're all about helping businesses grow through our customer relationship management software. And today we'll chat about how our work in these roles play a huge part in that mission. Whether you're interested in customer success, support, or just want to learn more about how these fields operate, we've got some amazing panelists lined up who will share their experiences, insights, and advice. So it's going to be a really valuable conversation. So thank you all for being here and let's get started. So a little bit about me. I'm based in Los Angeles. I've been with HubSpot for 3 years as the LATAM intern recruiter. One of the things I love most is supporting our LATAM team and helping students discover exciting internship opportunities here at HubSpot. So here's an agenda of today and what today will look like. So first we'll do just some quick introductions, then we'll jump into our panel discussion, and then we'll wrap up with a Q&A where you can ask any questions that come to mind. But if not, this recording will be sent to your university, and if you have any follow-up questions, I'm also happy to follow up with you as well. Now I'm excited to introduce you to our amazing panelists. Each of them brings a wealth of experience and insights from both customer success and support. So let's get started by hearing a little bit about each of them. I would love to get started with you, Camila.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Edith. I'm Camila Alicia Ortega. I'm based in Bogota, and I started my journey in HubSpot as a customer onboarding specialist. And in July of last year, I become customer success manager for the LATAM market. And I'm really happy to be here with you and share with all of you how customer success and customer support can work together to make our customers happy. So thanks for the invitation.
Thank you for sharing. And Sean is just coming in. Hi, Sean. How are you? Hey, Sean.
Hello.
We are just doing the introductions and you just came in right on time with you are the next introduction for us.
Oh, perfect. Wonderful. Hello, everyone. I'm Sean. I am a senior customer success manager in the mid-market department. I am working on Team Dupuy. I've actually been at HubSpot for about 2.5 years. I'm coming up on year 3. So really, really exciting. And are there any specific questions or fun facts everyone gave that I didn't?
No, but you can go ahead and share one. Would love to hear that.
Oh, okay. So my favorite fun fact to share is that I was homeschooled from 3rd grade through high school graduation. And I was homeschooled, during COVID, homeschooling was just on the up and up, but around my time, homeschooling was not on the up and up. So people were very much like, oh my goodness, she must have social anxiety coming into these large environments. And it's really interesting because right after I was done being homeschooled, I jumped into all of the fun things, very much a social butterfly, obviously working with customers every day of my life. So yes, that is my fun fact. Thank you for having me.
Love that. Thank you for sharing. And next, Carmen.
All right. I'm based in Medellin, Colombia. I've been a part of HubSpot since February 2022, so almost 3 years now. and I entered as a customer support manager. So yeah, I also manage another group that's called the product experts. So I'm kind of like on both sides, the frontline support and product experts, which are like the second level support, where all of the reps go for extra help. So, yeah.
Nice. Thank you for sharing. And last but not least, Kaylee, would love to hear from you.
Hey everyone, I'm Kaylee. I'm based in Colorado and I have been at HubSpot for almost 3 years, just behind Carmen. It'll be March 2022. And I manage a North America team in customer support, so frontline management. And my fun fact is I actually made a pivot from science to tech, but I think it's all valuable.
Yeah, definitely. That's so interesting. Thanks for sharing that. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen now so we can start the Q&A portion. So for the first thing, I like to kick things off, but just hearing a bit about how each of you got started. So if you can just share your career journey and what led you to a role in either customer success or support. I'd love to hear from everyone on this. So I would love to start with Kaylee, since you're the first one on my screen.
Perfect. Yeah, so like I said, I originally have a science degree. My degree is actually in forensic science and chemistry, so I love anything true crime, send it my way. But I worked in that field for a while, and life just is sometimes unexpected, and you have to pivot. And I ended up at a tech company, working at an agency doing project management for website development. I did that for a little bit and then managed that team doing website onboarding and managed a team of onboarding specialists. I did that for about 6.5 years at an agency and then came over to HubSpot in March of 2022 and managed the replatforming team, which is, moving people from, whatever website they're on over to HubSpot websites. And that was a really great experience, fun team. And then I came over to manage the support team. So instead of more like, long-term website development, it was more fast-paced support. And it's been a really good, seeing both sides experience.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks. And that's a great story. I would love now to hear from Carmen. What was your path like?
All right, this is a little bit of a long story. So I'm Venezuelan and I migrated to Colombia 7 years ago. And the only thing I had ever worked on was teaching English without a degree, just like teaching people how to say hi, how to, communicate. So I got to this country and I was only teaching English, and then I saw a flyer for a BPO, which is a call center. And I was like, why not? So I started my journey there. I was just a customer support specialist at the time. Then I became quality assurance specialist. Then I became a trainer. Then I became a training manager. And then I applied to HubSpot and became a customer support manager. So that was like my previous experience to HubSpot. And I was always making sure that we were doing everything we could to provide a good service to our customers, being in that industry or this industry. So that's how I got here, basically.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And what about you, Sean? Tell us about your journey.
Yeah, thank you so much, Edith. I actually had a little bit of a pivot similar to Kaylee. I started out in the fashion industry. I actually worked in sales and merchandising for about, let's call it 6 or 7 years. And then I became a digital merchandiser around the time that, people started online shopping was the era that I was working in fashion. I actually started to work for a company that spanned both tech and fashion. It was a B2B fashion company. And I want to say I maybe had about 5 or 6 clients at the time, but they were, a lot larger clients. And I realized during that time that I really, really enjoyed just being customer facing, being able to work on like a lot of strategy with the customers directly. And I knew that that was something I wanted to get into a bit more. So from there, I actually went into account management for another tech and fashion company. You will be amazed how many tech and fashion companies exist. I didn't know until I really got into the industry. But yeah, I became an account manager, which is, we have account managers here at HubSpot, but the swim lanes were exceptionally different. Account management in that world were both sales, and customer success and contract management, like all rolled into one role. So yeah, working there for a little while, I think I started to learn a little bit more about customer success and kind of like what their actual roles were, and just what the journey looked like for customer success as they begin to work with the actual clients. So believe it or not, I actually had a friend that I used to work with who also worked in tech and fashion, who worked for HubSpot. We kept in touch, and she kept telling me how much she loved working at HubSpot. I was not looking for a new job. I really liked my job. She was telling me, she's like, HubSpot's so great. Like, the company does this, my team is that. And I was like, oh, well, that sounds great. I'm so happy that you're happy. And she's like, we have this customer success role that's open. You should apply. And I was like, I'm not looking for a new job though. I was like, I really like my job. And she's like, well, you should just apply because I really want you to work with me. And I applied, and then I came to work at HubSpot. And it's been absolutely great. And I definitely think that, again, just like the variations between account management and customer success, a world of difference. So although there's lots of crossover, there were so many new things that I've learned just being able to specifically dedicate my time to the customer and like product adoption, as opposed to also having to manage their contract and also having to sell them things. But yes, it's been a great journey. So 2 parts, learning a lot about HubSpot, but also just, being brought over from HubSpot champions who really, really love working here.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing from fashion to tech. And now, Camila, I would love to hear about your journey as well.
Well, before to start in HubSpot, I was working on advertising, so that it's a whole completely work. I was working in one of the most biggest agency here in Colombia, and I think that I was like a weird person in there because my role at that time was knowledge manager. So I was in charge of helping the creative teams to become more digital, And at that time, it was like a weird widow in the advertising landscape. But then I find out that sharing knowledge with people, that was my passion. So I want to pursue that from the beginning. And then I work in another company in the marketing side, in the creation of content and everything. But at that time, I was really I was like not in my place, because I want to share knowledge and be able to guide the people, the teams, the people, the other ones that can be guided by me. So then HubSpot, I applied to HubSpot. I always wanted to work in HubSpot, but I applied a few years ago and nothing happened at that time. But then my former boss just talked to me and said, hey, I know a person that is looking for some people in the onboarding team to be able to join HubSpot. And I was like, oh my God, HubSpot. Yes, of course I want to apply. And I joined as a customer onboarding specialist, and it was really challenging at first. I'm not gonna lie, it was really challenging, because you need to have a lot of product knowledge, but it was an amazing time in the onboarding team, and I was be able to teach, to share knowledge. So for me, that's the most rewarding thing. And now I joined customer success team more than 1 year ago, and I have new challenges right now, a lot of information, but my passion and my goal is still there, share knowledge with the people and, receive like a good feedback from my customers. Thanks, Cami, you made this happen. That for me, it's my best thing. So that has been my journey so far.
I love that. Thank you all so much for sharing. And it just goes to show there's not one direct path into success or support. Everyone is going to have their journey. It's just kind of finding your passion and seeing where you end up. And if those skills can apply to the role, then that's something that's definitely possible. So now that we know your backgrounds, let's talk about what you do today. So I would love to just hear from one person on the success side and one person on the support side. So if you can just tell me how your current role and how it connects with the other function, and how do you see both roles working to achieve the same common goal? So would love to hear from someone on the success side first, and then we can dive into support.
Happy to jump in from the success side.
Mhm.
I am, as I mentioned, Senior Customer Success Manager on the mid-market team. My overall goal, which a lot of you may have heard before, is to delight the customer here at HubSpot. So my book of business is about 160 customers overall. And what happens is, once the customer has completed their onboarding, then they are handed off to their success manager. So on a day-to-day basis, I am working with the customer on product adoption, just ensuring that, one, they are aware of the tools that they have access to, because HubSpot is such a big product, right? You can do so many things on HubSpot in so many ways. And my favorite thing to tell the customer is, you can think about HubSpot as, if you have an athletic background, folks would always say there is more than one way to skin a cat. And that is how I think about HubSpot. You can do a myriad of things, and there's different ways to do it just based on your business structure and your processes. And as a customer success manager, that is what I'm here for, to help you figure out what is the best way to skin a cat with our HubSpot products. And then just with regards to how we work with a lot of the other teams, to be fair, customer success connects with so many teams on HubSpot. And I believe that between the support team, the sales team, and the contract management team, those are like our best friends on the success side. I am frequently either recommending that they open a support ticket for something that is more technical. And in some cases, I have also opened a lot of support tickets for a lot of my customers. And that's also because sometimes, we know what the support team is looking for. We'll always say, like, hey, if you open a ticket, make sure you give them an example, or make sure you share a screenshot. And sometimes your customers don't do that, right? Sometimes customers are just like, hey, I'm having a problem. And the support team is like, okay, what's the problem? So on the success side, we really try to do a good job of just like coaching and guiding the customers to get the best level of help that they can receive from our support team. And I honestly love working with our support team. They're really, really responsive. There's even been some support reps that have, hopped on calls with a lot of our customers, like walking through screen shares. And I do think on the success side, sometimes we're not as technical to see like some of the things that are going on the back ends of the customer's portal. But I do think that, we're really collaborative with the support team, especially when the support team even loops the customer success rep back in, like, hey, we've assisted in this area, but now you have to work with the success team on this side. And, it's all about just making sure the customer has what they need. We all have the same goal, which is, one, delighting the customer, but also retaining the customer. So we want to make sure that we all provide them, the best experience that they can receive on our side, to keep them, moving forward with HubSpot.
Love that. Thank you for sharing. I love seeing how your relationship with the other team works. I never knew that, so I feel like I'm learning a lot here too. So someone on the support side, like if you can just chime in and provide more detail on how you see these two areas collaborating to achieve a bigger goal.
Yeah, for sure. I can take over. So you took the words out of my mouth, Sean. Like, we always do that with success. It's always some type of teamwork that happens in order to get the best resolution for our customers. So sometimes it's not so cut and dry as to just like a technical issue. It might also involve some other types of needs when it comes to the customer. So we might have somebody that's struggling with one part of the tool, but then they also want to understand how to best implement that tool to achieve their goals, or they might want to figure something else out. And that's when we bring in customer success. So yeah, there's always this bridge of communication that's constantly going back and forth in order to solve for our customers. And also with having the product experts, which are like let's call it tier 2 of customer support, we can also have that through a conversation, just making sure that we understand what the customer wants and that we're able to give them the tools to get there. So that's how I see the relationship between all of these departments. And every time we were having a little bit of a struggle with a customer and we need their customer success manager to come in and provide a little bit more context, or given that they have a way closer relationship than we might have as support reps. So when we have a big customer, they have one success manager dedicated to them. So there's an actual relationship there that's constant. As for support, it might be a little bit more random, the person that you're getting their support from. So whenever we need that kind of support, we can reach out to success and they can chime in and help the customer understand whatever it is that we're trying to convey. And that way we can arrive to a resolution faster and we can make sure that our customer feels supported from every way we can.
Definitely. Thank you for sharing, Carmen. And to build on that, let's talk about how these roles impact the customer. So Camila, I would love to start with you. From your experience, how does customer success contribute to the overall customer satisfaction and retention?
Sure, and I love this question because I think that the customer success manager needs to be, the strategic advisor for the customer, and how with the platform you can achieve, how the customer can achieve their business goals. But sometimes most of the challenges that the customer needs to solve are maybe, can be covered with some new updates, with rollouts, and a lot of things that are new in HubSpot. So one of the most important thing for me is like keep update the customers with the whole new things that HubSpot has, because we are in HubSpot, and I don't know from you, but on my side, I feel really overwhelmed with a lot of information. So if I can, choose the best information and share that with my customers to solve their challenges, to achieve their metrics, their goals, I think that that will be, really, really a good thing to do. And the other one is, how can I use HubSpot and take advantage, use the subscriptions that I currently have, because they don't know, and they have like sometimes the small questions and can be solved in a really quick way, but they don't know. So again, share the knowledge, teach the customer, guide the customer on how you can be able to achieve that. That will be impact the usage, because in success we have like more usage, more retention. If you don't use the product, you will be able to do churn, and that's an equation. So I think if we can help them use, that will impact the retention. And so that will be all.
Thank you for sharing. So more usage, more retention. Love that. And Kaylee, would love to hear your thoughts on the support side of things.
Yeah, so definitely agree with the usage. We always say that we want our customers to be sticky to us and utilizing all of these tools that we put so much work into. So I kind of think that it's like a side-by-side approach, but support is, in a sense, a little bit of a reactive role where, it's kind of like, this is broken, or I need help with this, or I can't figure out this part of the tool. I have this issue and we're working quickly to problem solve, keeping a good feedback loop with our customer success team. But we really just want to make sure that, we're solving for them quickly, having a good reactive, but still aligned with their business goals, but then working side by side with the success team to make sure that they are understanding their product, getting good usage out of the product, especially if we, solve the problem for them and then they see like how they can continue to grow and use it. So I think we work very side by side. We're a little more reactive, they're a little more proactive, but we're solving both sides of the coin for the customers for both short-term and long-term goals.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing those insights. And now let's dive into some of the skills that are going to be key for these type of roles. So Sean, I would love if you can just tell me what skills or attributes do you think are essential for professionals in customer success?
Thank you, Edith. I would definitely say being both organized and detail-oriented are two skills that will take you a very long way within customer success. And just starting with just the concept of being organized, really having a good handle on, what prioritization looks like and what it looks like for you to organize your day. That is really important because, as I noted, we do have about 160 customers that we are working with. And different customers are in different journeys, in their HubSpot time. So, wanting to make sure that you have a good handle and understanding, if a customer is a brand new customer who's coming out of onboarding, or if a customer has been with has had HubSpot for quite some time, and you're actually assisting them on a certain project. Because there are so many customers that you are meeting with, and frequently providing just like different types of advice or different types of resources, making sure that on your end, you're kind of attributing where are you finding your best resources, or even creating those best resources for yourself. And then of course, making sure that you are organizing and managing your time really, really well. Because as Kaylee mentioned, customer success managers are very proactive. So there are some cases where you're going to have to be very proactive to your customer base, but there's a lot of cases where customers are just sending you emails. They're just pouring in with different types of questions, wanting to get on a call, wanting to just spend some time with you, right? Sometimes at HubSpot, some folks really don't have too many things they want to talk about, but they want to be able to speak to someone who they believe is, really, really knowledgeable in the product. So sometimes they just kind of want to pick your brain and understand what are some of the things your other customers are doing, or what would you recommend? So really being organized about your book of business, really being organized about your time management skills overall, how much time you're spending towards proactivity, how much time you're spending towards, answering your inbox, how much time you're spending towards growing a customer overall. Really thinking through those things. And then when we think about being detail-oriented, you are communicating a lot. That is the majority of, what you are spending your time doing as a customer success manager. So when I am sending out emails, I have to ensure that I'm being detailed on the specific asks that this customer needs, right? If a customer is asking, how do I connect my calendar? I'm ensuring that I'm sending them what articles go along with connecting your calendar. I'm ensuring that I'm also communicating with them properly for, what I can provide to them as a customer success manager. So always being aware of the specific details and the specific notes that each customer needs. And that is because you are managing such a large book. So you want to make sure you're providing that level of care that each of those customers are asking for. So just circling back, I would say those top few skills again are, being really organized, being very detail oriented, and managing your time very well.
Love those points. Thanks for sharing. And on the support side, Carmen, what are some skills that are going to be key for a role in support?
We're always looking for people who are very adaptable, because this is an ongoing changing platform. So we're always looking to improve everything for our customers. So we want to make sure that the person that comes into our team is able to adapt to those changes, and also being curious about it. Being curious in this specific role goes a long way, because that's the way that you're going to learn more about the tool, and you'll be able to provide efficient support to our customers. So those two are the main ones that we're always looking for. And we also want to kind of develop this skill as well when we have people come in, even if they're interns or they're full-time employees. We want to make sure that we're encouraging them being independent from the get-go. So making sure that you learn how to do your research, that you're looking for other cases, and that you ask for help whenever you need it. But the main thing that we're looking for is somebody who's curious and adaptable.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Carmen. And I know with every role, there is challenges that you will face. So Camila, what are some common obstacles that you faced in the field of customer success?
Well, we have a lot of challenges with the product itself, you know, but that's why I mean, at that point, we work really well with the customer support team. But I think that in the other side, we have a lot of challenges about the scope of our role, you know, like to be able to set the right expectations about how can I, Camila, as your customer success manager, can help you. That for me is one of the biggest challenges, because a lot of customers needs, and in LATAM happens a lot, that needs to a lot of guidance on, for example, their marketing strategies and how to increase their open rates, you know, a lot of strategic things. So the challenge is, okay, I can help you, but I will guide you how you can achieve your goals using HubSpot. I'm not going to make the whole strategy because it's not my role. And be really careful with how many times we can meet each other in, you know, like on a quarterly basis, on a monthly basis, you know, be really, honest with the scope and be really specific with that. So that will be the first one. And the second one for me, it's how to say no, because a lot of customers ask for things that, I mean, are not possible. The product doesn't have, for example, that functionality yet, or they want to make like a mid-contract change that is not possible. So be able to say no, it's for me, it's one of the biggest challenges. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. Yeah, saying no, I feel like is a tough one for everyone, because you want to, like Sean mentioned earlier, delight the customer and solve for the customer any way you.
Totally.
So thanks for sharing that. And looking ahead, Kaylee, how do you see the future of customer support evolving? And any trends or changes you're excited about with the evolution of customer support?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we've all heard of AI at this point, right? So I think, you know, right now the future of success, support, AI is just going to continue to evolve. I think that's already happening, and it's just going to continue evolving. I envision that a lot of customer support will be utilizing AI for more automation and efficiency. So, you know, working smarter, not harder. But that'll also give us more time back so that we can focus on quality and improving our customer experience. Like we were saying earlier, you know, usage and product adoption is a big piece of what we're looking at right now. So having more time to really dig in and provide that quality and more boutique style experience with our customers, I think is going to be really valuable. I think as we are already seeing, there's a lot more options, not just at HubSpot, but just in general, there's more self-service options. So I really think that as we have self-service, there's also going to be a desire to have stronger relationship building, more collaboration and consulting as well.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for sharing those insights. And now for a more personal touch, I'll start with Sean. If you can share a memorable experience where your work in customer success had a significant impact.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give it a little glaze over. Yeah, I think that, so working through customer success, you know, we work with lots of different types of individuals. Of course, you never know who is going to be your point of contact, right? You are introduced. It's really funny because in a lot of cases when I'm introduced, a lot of people think that I'm a man because of the spelling of my name. But there has been I mean, there's several occasions that it does happen as a customer success manager, but there are 1 to 2 specifically that I can account for where, as a woman, I have been able to connect with a woman who was a POC on my side, and she had recently become a mom. And one thing about being a customer success manager, which I'm sure a lot of our counterparts in support can also attest to, is that sometimes, you come into meetings and you want to focus on the work that's at hand, but sometimes, there are other personal things that are going on in our lives. And during the conversation that I was able to have with her, obviously, we always want to think human first. And that's something that we think about a lot at HubSpot. And I knew that she had recently, given birth, and we had even sent her a nice HubSpot onesie and bib, which was really nice. But we're talking a little bit about work. But I noticed that, some of the things that maybe we had been planning for or that we had been talking about, had kind of slipped through the cracks, or, maybe I could tell based on what she was sharing with me that her bandwidth had been a little bit lower. And during that time, I kind of just took a moment to kind of ask her how she was doing as a person. And we actually spent about 45 minutes just talking about her and what it's been like for her to be a new mom, and what her adjustment period has just been like overall with her work, and then, with her family. And one thing that I can say is it definitely helped to just strengthen our relationship overall, because I do believe that, we are working with people, but we're working with people, right? People are always humans first. And I think that once you are able to kind of have even a deeper relationship, and it's not going to happen with everyone, right? Everyone is not going to tell you about their families and their lifestyles. But just being able to, go into that next level with her as a person, it assisted in one, strengthening our HubSpot relationship. But it also just assisted in, how we communicate and how we trust in one another. So that going forward, even as we decided to have, or even as we would go into having, let's say, something like renewal conversations, and this person has to bring in, their CEO or someone who is in a really high leadership level, they have had a really great opportunity to, experience me as a person, but also experience me as a customer success manager. And I think when those kind of conversations happen, it also just reminds you that, you also need a little bit of human touch in our day-to-day lives, right? We love HubSpot, but sometimes it does get a little bit overwhelming to talk about Sales Hub all day or marketing emails all day. So just being able to have that personal connection and, being aware that our conversations can also assist people outside of work, right? That conversation also, had given her a boost just, to know that as a mom, you can also continue to do your job very well. And you may also need to take some time to step away. But yeah, that's an example for me that has been a really, really great experience. That person is also still a customer at HubSpot today. We still have a very great working relationship. And like I said, it just continues to develop, and it continues to increase, how well we work together on a day-to-day basis.
Wow, I love that story so much. And yeah, definitely important to have that personal touch with someone. And as a fellow mom, like just having someone check in on you, I'm sure meant the world to her. So thanks for sharing that story. And on the support side, Carmen, I would love to just hear from you a memorable experience that you've had with support that had a significant impact.
All right, so it was a Friday afternoon. I was just going about my day, excited to go into the weekend. And then I got a message. No, actually, I was looking at some of my reps' queues. So she was on vacation, so I was making sure that everything was taken care of. And I noticed a case that was very urgent for the customer. They were having a launch 3 days later. So on Monday, they were launching a website and something wasn't working. And they had escalated this case already. So we were all working on it, but there seemed to be a delay. So I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, we need to figure this out, because it was also a very, very, very important customer. They were paying us $25,000 per month. So it was something that was really urgent. Everything is urgent, but this was especially urgent. So I decided to follow this procedure for these cases in specific, where you just ping everyone that can help you, and then they get into the case and they do their best to resolve it. So what I did was ping this person, they were helping me out, and I decided to call the customer and tell them that everything was going to be okay, that we we're working on it, even though it was Friday at 7 p.m. and that we were making sure that everything was in place for the Monday launch. So for me, that was very memorable because I felt the HubSpot culture in me in a way. Like whenever we say help customers grow better and the customer first mentality and everything, sometimes you see it or you hear it and it doesn't really click for you. But that for me was a moment where I said, you know what, this is what HubSpot is all about. So for me, that was very, very memorable. And we were able to get everything ready for the launch. And the customer was very, very grateful that we actually called her up and told her that we were working on it, because most companies don't do that. They don't worry about the customer that much, and they don't see the importance in keeping somebody updated or providing that kind of support. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. You definitely went above and beyond, and it was Friday. You could have just went home and went about your weekend and just got back to it on Monday. So that's awesome that you went above and beyond and delighted that customer in that sense. So just to wrap up the Q&A, my last question here, I would love to hear from each and every one of you. What advice would you give to encourage students to pursue a career either in customer success or customer support? Would love to start with you, Camila.
Great. If I will have to give you like a piece of advice, will be like, first, don't be afraid to apply to maybe a company that seems like like it's not possible working there. So applied, and you can do it. You can apply. You can start your journey, for example, in the tech industry. So that will be my first advice. The second one is to start to follow maybe the people that you want to, maybe people you admire, maybe people that is working in the role that you maybe want to pursue and everything on LinkedIn, and start to send messages and, to be able to connect with those people. And the third is keep in mind what is the thing that make you, like special and unique. So or what is your passion, and keep that in mind, and that will be your maybe your most important thing in the interview process or when you apply to a new company. So that will be my 3 advices for you.
Thanks for sharing. And Kaylee, what about you on the support side? What advice would you give to encourage students to pursue a career in support?
Yeah, so all great points so far. I think right now there's a lot of different tech certifications out there, not even necessarily tech specific certifications, but there's just a lot of free online certificates. I highly recommend, finding the ones that really intrigue you and interest you, gaining those certifications. But also I'm a really firm believer that you've learned from every role you've ever had. I even worked at Starbucks, and I think there was things that I learned from there. So I think you have soft skills that are easily transferable as you go. So the whole song lyric of started from the bottom, now I'm here. I think you learn from everything, and you should really, tell your story of how you learned this from that job and then brought that to this job where you were able to apply it and create this value. So showcase your trajectory. Those soft skills are going to bring that a long way, especially if you're pivoting from a different industry into tech. So yeah, find the certifications, get to know your story, your trajectory story, know your soft skills. They're really transferable. And be your own best advocate on how you can, bring value to that role.
Yeah, definitely. Good points. And love the certification piece, because if anyone doesn't know, HubSpot Academy, we have courses. So if you're watching this, feel free to check that out. And next, Sean, would love to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you. Definitely lots of great pieces of advice that have been shared. I would certainly say just in addition to Kaylee mentioning the certifications, there are also so many just like organizations that are available, whether they are things like young professional organizations. I used to personally be a part of the New York Urban League Young Professionals. And like I said, there's so many, whether they are focused on customer success, whether they're focused on customer support, there are a lot that can just assist you with learning more about the type of roles that you're interested in, but they can also assist you with just like developing some of those soft skills that you may not have tapped into as much. They assist with developing and with like interviewing and overall networking. Really a great opportunity to, meet a lot of people, but also hone in on the skills that you definitely have. So I would certainly encourage just external organizations overall. I would also encourage reaching out to people that are in roles that have the roles that you want. I think LinkedIn is a great place to start. If you are not on LinkedIn, I would definitely recommend, creating yourself a LinkedIn and, just being a little bit more open to asking individuals to just have conversations with you. Everything doesn't have to be as, hey, you work at this company that I want to work for. They could work for any company. But if you're interested in something like support or success, everyone has a completely different experience. So I think it's really helpful to understand the types of experiences that folks are willing to share with you. And that will also assist you in, understanding kind of what roles you really want to go down the path of. Because I think it's really important to really be aware of, the type of environment that you are walking into. So definitely reaching out to folks that are in those roles. And then, someone has already said, like, be your best advocate, put yourself forward at all times. Everyone you meet, every time you have a conversation, it's an elevator pitch. It's telling them a little bit about you. It's letting them know, these are some of the things that you are passionate about. I think it's something that, to be fair, I don't think a lot of us do enough, but talk about yourself, brag on yourself, boast about yourself. We talk about being humble a lot, but when you are looking for a job, sometimes you gotta do some of the things that are a little bit uncomfortable, which is, putting yourself on this pedestal and highlighting like, this is what I can contribute to your company, and this is what I can contribute to this role. So definitely don't be afraid to talk about your wins and acknowledge, who you are and what you can bring forward.
Yeah, I love that. And as Lori Harvey would say, you are the prize. So put yourself on that pedestal. And Carmen, lastly, would love to hear some advice you have for our students.
Do not be afraid. I know it's a scary time. You're finishing up university. You don't know what you're going to do with your life. But if you're ever going to enter at a company, this is the one. I think HubSpot is a very good place for somebody to learn about everything and anything. We're very good with our enablement part. We're very patient with each other. We strive on helping one another. So I'm always in the hiring panel for the support positions and also internships. And one thing I can say is that we hire people from all of the backgrounds. So people who have worked before for customer support, people who have worked at something completely different, but like you all said, having those soft skills and having that kind of like customer mindset will get you the position that you're looking for, and will go a long way. So do not be afraid to apply, even if you feel like, I don't know anything about CRMs, I don't know anything about this company. Do your research, see if you like it. And if you do, please apply and we'll be more than happy to.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, don't be afraid to apply. You don't know if you don't try. And then use your network. So if you see a position that interests you and you don't know if that's something for you, you can connect with people in that position and learn from them and see if that's something that you want to pursue. But thank you all so much for sharing some advice. So as we wrap up, I'd like to just highlight our recruitment process for our success and support internships in Colombia. So we have two exciting internship opportunities available. So we have one with success and one with support. On the success side, what you can expect on the internship and what we look for. So as part of the LATAM team, you'll gain valuable insights on how HubSpot helps customers grow while working on impactful and cross-functional projects. You're going to help co-host webinars, create content for partners and customers, and also assist in internal reporting, supporting the customer success as well as the solution partners team. And some of the key skills we look for in a success intern are someone that has collaboration, effective communication, is a self-starter, is adaptable, has analytical thinking, and a willingness to learn. And then on the customer support side, in the role, you'll work directly with HubSpot customers across multiple regions to help troubleshoot technical issues and then basically improve the overall experience of our customers. You'll partner with a support team on internal projects, provide customer support via email, and contribute to documentation and playbooks. And some of the key skills we look for in that position are someone that is detail-oriented, problem-solving, customer-centric mindset, someone with strong communication, ability to manage priorities, and has an eagerness to learn. So those are the two positions we're currently hiring for. So your university has already sent you the job descriptions as well as the link to apply. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. My information is erayo@hubspot.com. I'll send it to your university as well so you have it. But that's it on the opportunities we have for internships. Again, thank you everyone for joining. I hope this session was helpful for you. If you didn't get a chance to join, the recording will be sent to your university. And a big thank you to our lovely panelists for dropping some major gems on the success and support journey. Our team will be connecting with you after the event, so expect an email with a recording. For the time being, follow us on Instagram, HubSpot Life, or on LinkedIn under Student Spot, so you can get some quick tips and advice on your career. Thank you once again, and I look forward to seeing your applications, and we'll be in touch. But thank you all so much. Have a good rest of your day. We'll talk soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.